In this set of tutorials, we're going to look at creating a slideshow with sound using the timeline function in Photoshop. And in order to do so, we're going to take several different images, we're going to resize them, and then we're going to add some text to create this slideshow with. Now, I'm going to use the images that we've created in the previous tutorials. You can use whatever images you want. And in order to get started here, we're going to have to open up those images and prepare the file size that we want. And you need to decide what size you want the movie clip to be made. And in this tutorial, we're going to make the movie clip 1280 by 738, which is high definition YouTube size. So that's a good size to start with. You can make the slideshow smaller if you want, depending on what you're going to use it for, but I think this is a good size to start out with. So we need to open up all our images, and once we got all our files open, then what we need to do is resize them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a border, a black border around my images, and that's just the way I want to do it. I want to have like a frame around them, but you can make the images as large as 1280 by 738 if you want to. It's all depending on what you want to do. So in order to resize these images, the easiest thing to do is just do a file, save for web, and then you can change the size, the image size, depending on what it is here, and depending on what size that you decide you want your stage to be, where you're going to have the images be in. And I'm going to put a 60 pixel border around mine, so I subtracted 120 from 1280 by 738, which gives me 1160 by 618. So for my height, the tallest I want my image to be is 618. So I just need to select that here and then go ahead and click Save. And then I'm going to do that for the rest of my images. File, save for web, and 618. You can go through and save all your images. I'm not going to do it in the essence of time here, but then I'm going to close these up and I'm going to say no to save them afterwards. So once you're done resizing all your images, you don't need to reopen them again. We're going to run a script in Photoshop to create the image that's going to contain all our images in a single layer. Okay, so what we're going to do is go to File, Scripts, and we're going to load the files into the stack. And we're going to browse to find the files that we want to load here. And I have my files here in a folder, so they're easy to load here. These things were things I did before, so I don't want to put those in my stack here. Okay, so they're all JPEG files that I had here. They could be PSDs, they could be any type of file format, it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to click OK, and what it's going to do is going to create a single document from the files that I selected, and it's going to place all those into separate layers, and I need those separate layers in order to create my animation. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a background, a solid color background, and I'm going to make this black, and I'm going to put this at the bottom of my stack here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Image, and I'm going to go to Canvas Size, and I'm going to increase the canvas to the size of the whole document that I want here, which is 1280 by 738. Okay, so this is going to give me the border around it now. So 1280 by 738, and then I'm going to go ahead and click OK, and now I got my nice border around here that I want. So now what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to center the images. This is what I'm going to do in here. And in order to do that, what I'm going to do is put some guides in here. And I need to make sure that I have snap on. So snap needs to be selected. And then when I drag the guides, I'm going to feel them snap in the middle of my document. So again, it's almost like a magnetic thing. So once I get it there, I should be able to feel it snap into place. So it kind of sucks over there. Or you could do the math, divide it in half, 1280, 640. Same thing here. Find the middle. And then what I'm going to do with my images is drag my images. Well, first of all, I can change the order and get them in the order that I want them. And then I will center the images is what I'll do next. So I put the images in the order that we did them in. So from here, I'm just going to get the move tool and drag until the image snaps into place. And it should snap in the center. If I hold down the Shift key, it'll just move one way. There's the middle. So I can turn that one off. Grab Frankie here. I need to select the layer. I just moved the other one. Again, hold down the Shift key. The next one. The car looks like it's already centered. Oh, maybe not. There we go. What else? Which one? Oh, this guy here. The Diver magazine. Then the 3D image. And I think this one's probably already centered. Looks like it. Okay, so my stage is set. I have my stage all there. And then the next thing that I'm going to do is look at adding text and a background and get the timeline going. So I need to make sure, well, it looks like this one's maybe not quite centered. Oh, there we go. Snapped in there. Okay, so make sure they're all centered, otherwise it's going to look kind of funky. And then we're going to add our text now. So you can add a title, you can do it however you want. I'm going to go ahead and add a title page here. And so the way I'm going to do that is just take the text tool and I'm going to create a box. So with the box, the text tool, I'm going to start at the edge here and I'm going to create a box all the way across. And then I'm going to title whatever I want to put in here. Now if I click on center here, it's going to center everything. So I'm going to type in some text here, my mat131 digital imaging 1 portfolio by Mike G-A-L-L. Now the reason why it's not showing up down here is because the box is too small. So let's make the box a little wider, and there is my text. So it's all pretty much centered there, okay. That's perfectly fine. That's where I want it to be. Now the other thing I can do is I can add text above each one, or I'm sorry, above or below, it doesn't really matter, each image that I have here. So I can turn this off now. And for this image right here that we did, this one was the image correction and enhancement. So let's make a text box. I'm going to put this underneath here. or I can put it on the side, whatever way you want to do it. Maybe we'll put it on the side just for the fun of it. So let's create another text box here. Oops. It looks like I made the text box too large. So we'll get the center there, and then I'm going to paste that text, image correction and enhancement. If I want to put it on the side here, I'm going to have to transform the box. And then I might have to make the text a little smaller. And it looks like I will. So I can put it right there in this, my border area here. And I'm just having some fun with it. I mean, you can do it however you want. And I'm going to have to make the text a little bit smaller to fit in here. So maybe consistently make the text at 36 for everything else. Drag this down here. And get it centered. So again, we're using typography here. We're using a couple different things. And that's the text there. So I can do that, and I'm going to do that for each one of the boxes here. And then we're going to start creating the actual animation, if you will, or the timeline for the movie. So I'm going to complete this off screen here, and then when we start the next tutorial, we'll be able to create the slideshow using the timeline.